Well, we're back out here at the creek today, doing some high banking. I didn't get my Keene P180 up and going. It wouldn't mount to my engine. The thread size on my engine was a 3/4 inch coarse thread, and the Keene only comes with 5/8, so I had to send the propeller into the shop. The machine shop's gonna put it in a CAD machine and mill it up to fit on my crankshaft. We're out here on the very back side of this bench after the flood stage, and we're gonna dig another test hole. We're running into a lot of clay, tons of black sand, and grass roots. So we're using a clay one. Kids are out here digging. I had to pull my pump apart this morning and clean it out. It's not operating properly. It's getting it's bogging down a little bit. I increased the idle, but it's still not spraying with the pressure that it ought to be. So I increased the pitch of the high banker to try to get it to flow a little bit better. Getting these roots in there, a lot of clay, but we're making sure we wash everything really good. Gotta make sure we keep the roots off the grizzly bars so the rocks won't slide. But at least it's keeping my mats pretty well clean. It's not really hurting us any, but the pump is definitely not running at the RPMs it should be. I tore the pump apart, checked the seal. Everything seems to be copacetic and working fine. It's just not giving me as high pressure as it did last weekend. Could be the ethanol gas that I'm running too. The cheap 87's probably clogging up the jet again. We're running into a lot of bedrock. I mean, that stuff is pretty much iron in there. I'm throwing it in a bucket. We're gonna take it home. We're gonna crush it. Taking some quartz and bedrock. There's another piece. He just pulled out of the high banker. This is the stuff we're getting. Real mineralized, heavy iron, broken up bedrock. So I want to crush this up. We're going to save it. While the kids are here burning the high banker, we're going to walk upstream here a little bit. I want to show you this gravel bar. Real coarse, heavy. It's dead center of the stream. I mean, it's pretty shallow too. It's only about 6 to 8 inches deep here. But there's some real nice, big heavy boulders coming up out of the ground. A lot of quartz, bedrock. And this stuff's got cracks for days, and there's moss in here. This is stuff that you want to look for when you're out on the creek if you're going to do some crevicing. You want to dig these cracks out and get that moss off. Make sure you rinse that real good in your pan when you're test panning. And moss all up on this rock and down in that crack. So that probably has some good gold in there. Yeah, it's pretty shallow here. I mean, you can see my boot barely in the water. This is dead center. Up here off the back side of this sandbar where we're digging. And there's some deep areas too, fast moving water, but got a lot of bedrock sticking up here with cracks and moss, as you can see. That's stuff you really want to test when you're running tests. But running a high banker, I usually don't worry about this. Excuse me. The dead center here, we run up into this area. It's a high bench right in the middle of the creek. If you look at the last video I posted when it was high water, and this back here was all underwater, and this was actually the area of bedrock I was showing you in the video that was sticking up out of the high water. I mean, it's all dry now, but there's just loads of black sand over in here. This was all probably under 3 feet of water, and I could walk through it with just thigh waders on right now. So this was all underwater, and this black sand in here is just ridiculous. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if the sunlight's blocking that out or not, but you got black sand just laying up here on the sandbar. There's that piece of bedrock in there. I'll try to zoom in for you. That thing's just sitting up there. Just, you know, was high water stage, and that only lasted about a day. Came back the very next day and it was down already. And this sandbar here, we just got like heavy iron sticking up. I mean, look at this piece of bedrock that broke loose. It's full of iron deposits. Same here, real red. That's definitely iron. You hear it? That's what they call it's raw iron. That's what the miners would dig up and melt down and take that piece and save it. Down in here, that almost looks like a beaver dam. I'm not sure if it is, but whatever it was, the storm washed it out. There's a pretty big sandbar here. I mean, it's probably over 200 yards long, about 2.5 feet up from the water's edge. Down in here, you got bedrock exposed real big time. This is where I was telling you in the high water video. A nice place to put a dredge in right here. That comes ripping down through here, and you got big boulders to dig around. So once I get my dredge going, the high banker combo, I'll come down in here and we're gonna do some dredging. I mean, this is pretty shallow, so I can just use a snorkel for now, for the time being. Walked back in here this morning. We did a little bit more exploring up this creek. So definitely a beautiful area. At least found good gold last week. We found about, I don't know, 20 to 30 specks. About 50 mesh. A couple pieces about 20 mesh, but not much. But we were only taking off the top 4 inches. Today we're going to go a little deeper. And we're back here on this bigger sandbar. And you got some bedrock, you know, broke off bits of bedrock just laying up here on the surface, and it's heavy with iron ore. Even this here, you know, got some quartz and rust in that. It'll probably break up real easy. That's just a composed mica, compacted. Not sure what kind of rock this is, but if you look at it, it's got definitely some veins in there. It almost feels like it's some sort of limestone. It's so smooth. Let's go rinse this thing off and see what it really looks like. Oh yeah, you see that real rusty colors in there. It's like a bright blue, almost like a aqua color. But yeah, that's a pretty rock. That actually might just go in my rock collection. It's definitely got some core veins in it. So, all right, well, I want to walk around the sandbar a little bit more. Hopefully the kids keep going running the high banker. Looking at the surface to see what else I can find. Like I said, we had a high water in here the other day, and you never know what's going to blow up on top of these sandbars. I'm hoping the gold gets a little bit coarser today. We never know until we test and punch a couple more holes. Iron bedrock there, it's got some nodules in it. There was apparently some kind of deposits in that at one point in time. I mean, that piece, that nozzle there goes almost deep down into that rock. That's the type of stuff you want to look for when you go out to the creek. That just tells you there's definitely some type of iron ore, or could be anything. You know, gold comes out of quartz, and a lot of times you'll find it in nodules like that, and you won't even see it exposed until you bust it up and crush it and pan it out. So that's definitely another piece I want to take home and, you know, crush up. It's oxidized really, really well. So, all right, I'll get back with you guys later. Kids are still down there skipping rocks, and you know, Randy's down there feeding a high banker. They're new at it. It's the second time they were out running a high banker. So probably running it too fast and not caring if it washes well or not. So I'm gonna have to keep on them. Here's the view of the entire creek. Like I said, I want to dredge that out really good. And you got those high areas down there. Well, we've been out here for about 2.5, 3 hours. Moved about 2 tons of material. We cut out these logs that were coming across here so we can get my truck back in here to the bench where we're working. Take you down. That way we don't have to carry the high banker far. We can just set it up right in the water. We shoveled about 2.5 tons. We just actually fired it right back up after moving the logs out of the way. We started out there at the water's edge and moved all the way back into here. That was about 1.5 feet deep. And I actually unhooked my hose from the high banker and I blasted that whole bank out. So we loosened everything up, all the hard back, because this is kind of hard digging. As you can see, these are the size rocks here that we're pulling up out of this cobble bench. I'm gonna take a lot of quartz and bedrock home with me in the bucket here. Everything is covered in heavy iron. It's got nodules and veins going through it. Here's my everything under 1/2 inch tailings. You can just see the black sand coming up out of that thing. Zoom in. That's what's running through the high banker out of the Gold Hog mats. So, even though my pump isn't operating properly, we're still getting good processing and it's still holding material. And these are my lower mats here, and as you see, it's processing pretty good. I just dropped it down to probably 11 degrees. I usually run at 9, but it's processing material really good today. Got about a half hour to 45 minutes of digging yet, and then we're gonna call it a night. Go home and get some dinner. Sun's just starting to set. Gold Hog should feel lucky. I got their decal on the back of my truck right next to Dale Earnhardt. As you can see there. Right next to the man. Maybe that's why I'm so lucky. But all right, I'll get back up with you with a cleanup section once we get home, get everything fanned out, processed. I don't know, an eighth of a bucket. I don't know. That's pretty good. That's what we caught in the miner's mouse. A bit more than Gold Hog Mat. So we're gonna do a clean out. All these concentrates here, there's not much left in the pan, so we're going to go to the smooth side. Definitely a lot of black sand in this run. A lot of heavies. So I'm hoping this turns out good. If not, then I guess I might have been run a little too steep. You know, it's always there to get another day, so see what we get. I got a feeling it might not be too shabby. We did capture a lot of black sand, so we're capturing it that much black sand, then we definitely should be on the gold. Just taking our time with it. I think I have seen two pieces a little larger than 50 mesh trying to walk out of the pan.
That's definitely not a good thing, but I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but right there on the back edge is just starting to come up over. And put it back down in there. Yeah, I think that's as far as I want to go. It keeps trying to walk up out of the pan. So we're going to swirl it off. Let's get a little bit more water in there. And most of my cons, the miner's moss that I had in, under the header box, so definitely starting to see some gold show up. It's really hard to do one-handed, so just bear with me. There we go. Real tiny, but I don't know, 50 mesh and under. Like I said, it's always fine flower gold there. I think we were running a little too steep today. I mean, I had it 11.5 to 12 degrees, but that was due to my pump not working properly. I don't know why I wasn't getting the flow like I usually do, but I have to look into it. I think my carburetor is starting to get a little clogged up. Zoom in there for you. It's not too bad. I mean, we got pieces over here yet, but I probably backwash some too, doing it one hand.